We are cooking glazed ham today. Okay, we're gonna have my pineapples here. It's gonna be kind of like a double glaze, and I also have some tips, of safety tips also when cooking. Okay, so I'm gonna make my own glaze, but I'm gonna do a little bit different. I'm gonna also use glazed ham that I bought from the store also, along with the one I make up myself. I'm gonna give you the recipe. This is glazed ham right here, but this is what you put on 20 minutes after you cook. Okay, and then you start glazing it 20 minutes before you um, finish cooking. Okay, but I am going to make my own glaze too to show you what I'm going to do. It's a little bit different, so stay with me. And I'm going to give you some tips on safety tips when it comes to cooking. Okay, but I'm going to start with the tips for when it's come to cooking. I always start off with freshly washed hands. Okay, even if you have on gloves, them gloves got to be clean. Okay, because sometimes when you touch stuff, it gets contaminated. So make sure your hands is washed. And when you go to from meat to like cake or something, wash the hands first. Okay, that's to avoid contamination, cross contamination. Okay, now for the glaze, I'm going to tell you how I am going to do my glaze a certain way. It's because the ham is small. It's not as big. You see how it is tilted. Let me show you. It is in the glaze will just run right in the pan. It will not go into the ham because it's small. It's like 6.5 pounds. It's small, and the glaze will run straight in the pan. It won't go in the meat. So I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do also to get that glaze in that inside the ham. Before I show you the recipe, I'm gonna show you my other recipe I'm gonna make along with this. This is an extra. This is at the end now. This is the last 20-minute cooking. I'm gonna use this glaze because they have all of uh, the seasoning in it. You know, like the cloves and stuff in it. Okay, but I'm gonna make my own with my pineapples. You know, brown sugar, and I'm gonna give you the recipe. So the tip of wash your hands when you go to something from meat to cake. Okay, that's one tip. Now I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this ham because it's small and it's in a slant where the if I try to glaze it, it's gonna run directly into the pan. It's not gonna hardly get inside the ham. Okay, so bear with me. Now the tip of because it's slanted like this, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cook it like this on this thing because see now since the surface is more flatter, so I'm going to score the ham so that the flavor can get inside not only on the top but it's going to get up under the bottom also. It's going to get up under here also. Okay, so that way I got flavor going in from the top and from the bottom. That way it's getting in the meat and not just running off because it was too small. Remember, it was too small. I showed you it was too small on the side. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to mix together also. Okay, my recipe also that I'm going to mix together. Okay, now for the glaze. It's not really glaze. It's going to be what I'm going to base the ham with to keep the flavor inside to help get that more of flavor inside. Okay, this is brown sugar. I got about a half a cup of brown sugar. Now this is pineapple juice that I got from the pineapple earlier. Okay, I'm going to mix the pineapple, pour the pineapple juice the into the you know the brown sugar. Now, after I put the pineapple juice in there, you could taste it to make sure that it is sweet enough because you're going to baste it. I'm going to baste it with this. I'm putting a little cinnamon in here too. This is like making the glaze up also. But I'm going to be able to baste this with it. Now, I'm not going to cook it. It's because I don't want it to turn into glaze in the pan. I want to be able to, dip it out, put it over the ham. Okay, because I'm going to glaze it at the end with the other. Okay, now before I do this, I'm going to put a teaspoon of this in there to get that flavor for the from the cloves and stuff in there. Okay, I'm not making it real sweet because I don't want it while it's cooking to turn to glaze because it's going to be on it and it's going to go through the ham. Now you see how this have the cloves and stuff in there? I'm going to put this in there because I'm going to be basting I'm going to be basting it with this, and it still have that flavor in there of what I'm going to do for the um, the glaze on top. It has the glaze flavor in here. Now I'm going to pour this inside the pan. uh I'm not going to pour it on top because I don't want it to start glazing yet, because this right here, I'm going to be able to dip this up, and I'm going to pour every like 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to dip this up, put it over the ham like this so it can go into the having flavor all the way through it also. And you see, while it's cooking, see how the flavor is going to go under the ham also. You can lift it up a little bit to get that flavor under. It's going to be cooking inside the ham. Okay, I'm trying to get you to see how I want this flavor to go all the way through the ham. So this would be for the basting also. So what I'm going to do, but I did not boil this one because it's going to cook while it's in the pan, and I don't want it to be glazed yet. But it's gonna, when the juice evaporated, it might get a little bit thicker. But this is my glaze that I'm gonna put on in the last 20 minutes. I'm just kind of reminding you what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna score the ham so that the flavor can go through the ham. Okay, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna score the ham. Oh, another tip. You don't want to cut all the fat off of it because this right here is gonna keep the ham moist. It's like moistening it. So first you're gonna cut it, but you're not gonna cut deep, only like half of an inch. It's a little bit in the ham because as it cooks, I'm gonna cut it all the way across. It's gonna be in a checkered cut. Okay, as I cut it all the way across, I'm not gonna film the whole cutting all the way across. I'm just gonna show you that I am going to cut this way too. Okay, I'm gonna start from the end here, and then I'm gonna go all the way across. Okay, I'm cutting into it. See how I'm cutting into it like a half of an inch, going all the way across. Just after I cut it, after I cut it like this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and then cut this way, this way, this way, making a checkered. Okay, this so when it cooks, it's gonna open up, and the sweet is going to go in there, and when you glaze it, the glaze is going to be able to soak into the ham. Now you got the flavor going from the top and coming from the bottom also. Now I'm going to finish cutting this ham, but I got a couple more tips too. Okay, I finished cutting this in a checkered. I cut it across, and then I cut it this way to make a checkered. Now this right here, I'm going to let you know what's going to happen. Why I said double glaze is because this is like a glaze when it cooks. Okay, I'm going to also, just in case my thing cut off before I finish talking. Okay, now this right here is going to go inside the ham. See how it's going to go through the ham. It's thin right now, but it has flavor. It has the sweetness in it. It has the glaze flavor in it, and it has the see how it got cloves in it. Now every 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to baste it so that this is a thinner liquid. It's going to go into the crevices more easily because it's not thick yet. Okay, it's going to thicken probably as it cook a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to be basting this in here every 15 minutes while it cooks. Another tip is you cook the ham 15 minutes per pound. 15 minutes per pound. This is a 6-pound ham right here. Just 15 minutes per pound until the temperature reaches 160 degrees inside. Use a thermometer, a meat thermometer. Okay, now another tip is, okay. So now I'm going to cook this. I haven't cooked it yet. I'm going to put it in the oven and cook it, but I'm not finished. Now, I was cooking with this. This is a tip now. Keep it safe. I touched this, but I also touched the meat. Okay? Now, to keep from contamination, are you going to put this in a cabinet? No, you're not. You are going to take a hot soapy towel. Okay? And see the soapy towel? You are going to wash this off. But you're going to wash your hands first before you do that. You're going to wash this off because it is contaminated because you touched the meat and then you touched the seasoning. If you put it in a cabinet, you're just going to have germs on it. And when you cook next time, And then you wonder, oh, why did I get sick? Because you touched it and you didn't wipe it off. And then when you touched it, of course, when it becomes the right environment, the germs will come back alive because some of them don't die out unless you clean them off or something. Okay? You wipe the whole thing off. After you wash your hand, you wipe the off before you put it in the cabinet. That way it is clean. And so the next time you cook a cake cookie, you don't have meat on the seasoning container. Okay? So before you touch anything else, wash your hands. And if you have another tip, if you have on gloves, okay, if you have on gloves, they get contaminated too if you touch the meat with the gloves on. You have to take those off, especially if they're disposable. You have to take those off and wash your hand and put a new set on before you touch the cake. You have to wash the gloves before you, or wash your hands before you touch the cake because it's contaminated. Some people think just because you got on gloves that, oh, gloves is keeping my hands safe, but those gloves are a second skin and it gets contaminated just like your hands get contaminated. So before you go to a cake, take the gloves off, wash your hands, and re-put on some more gloves. Okay? And if you touch the meat again, take the gloves off, wash your hands, and put on some new gloves before you touch any other type of meat because it will be cross-contamination. That's to keep it safe and to keep your stomach safe too. Okay? So now I'm going to put this in the oven and every 20 minutes I'm going to baste it with this right here, the sweet glaze. And then in 20 minutes, I am going, after maybe 45 minutes or an hour, because since it's 6 pounds, 15 minutes per pound, I'm going to have another half an hour to cook. But I might, after 45 minutes, so I could take 45 minutes and glaze it. Now, I'm going to glaze it after it cooked 45 minutes, I'm going to glaze it every 15 minutes with this. This is going to thicken it up. This is sweet. It's going to thicken it up on top and turn to it's a glaze, okay? I'm going to glaze it every 15 minutes. And it's going to cook and it's going to turn into this is just in case I run out of tape because it's kind of short in the film. If I run out, it's going to make a glaze on here. So you get the whole recipe. It's going to make a glaze on here. This is going to open up and the glaze is going to go inside of it. And it's going to season it from the bottom because I'm going to be basting it. And then when it gets about halfway done, every 15 minutes, I'm going to glaze it with this, let it cook, and let it get that crispy glaze on top of it. Okay, so now in the oven it goes 350 degrees with your thermometer. When it reaches 160, then it is done. Now the ham, they say it's already cooked, but still you want to kill all the germs. It reaches 160 degrees inside, then it'll kill all the extra germs. One other tip, don't forget to put the foil on it. This is going to hold the steam in so it can cook. I put the foil, but I left the opening in the center so that when I'm basting it, I could just open it a little bit and then baste it like this, and then I can re-close it up. I could close it up. I could re-close that back up again. Okay, so just fold it over and re-close it up. So each time you baste it, be careful because the steam is hot. Just open it, baste it, and then be careful. I suggest you have on some cooking gloves or something so that you won't get burned. So just be careful with that. Okay. Okay, you put it in there, let it cook 45 minutes, and then you glaze it. So don't forget to foil it so that it hold the steam in before you pop it in the oven. So now you put it in the oven to cook. Now remember, stay safe. Wash your hands every time you touch the cake. Wash your hands when you touch the meat. Wash your hands, touch the cake, or change your glove to stay safe and keep the meat safe. So this is going to be in here for until it gets 160 degrees. Continue to baste it and then put the glaze on it. until it reaches 160 degrees. Now this right here is an oven safe meat thermometer. You can insert this in here when you're cooking it. You put it all the way to reach the middle, and you don't have to guess at it because as it heat up, you're gonna know how hot it is. So you don't have to worry. Use a meat thermometer, and it's made for it to stay in there while it's cooking.